Okay, this is the next next and final three instances of trafficking, and this one is in Rosen Oaks and Morningstar territory. I already did the first three. This one is with Zemos as your
What's the
homie,
setup?
and the tactics are going to be basically the same. But in case you didn't watch the other trafficking video, or you just happen
Printing
to come across
catalogs of your
this one,
girls?
then
That's a new one for
just
me.
keep in mind that you're dealing with the Morningstar, which are one of the tougher gangs. I find them to be tougher,
That's
because they just
really
seem to
smart,
be a little more
actually.
voracious
So, do these people work on a commission?
But anyway, like I said, the tactics are basically the same. If you can shoot the guy, if the guys are chasing you, shoot the guy in
The Morningstar will be
through the
happy about
windshield
this.
that's driving, and that'll stop them from obviously chasing you. Unfortunately,
So
the
you're
way
expecting
the
our
AI
influence of
drives
violence
in this activity, it's sometimes
I'm
very
going to
difficult.
love
As you can
this.
see, I'm trying to shoot him, but the Zemos is all over the road, and just like Pierce was in the last instances of this activity. And again, notice I'm getting out of the car because why? Because I don't want my car to get shot up. I'd rather myself get shot up because I can run and hide and recharge my health. Again, same basic tactics. Oh, here we go. And this guy is trying to get away. He doesn't want to pay for his dope, apparently. So,
Let me know if you need a
what are you
rest.
gonna do? Now, this is the easy instance. Again, I'm playing on hardcore, so don't confuse the fact that I'm saying easy, medium, and hard with the difficulty level. There are the three instances of this sort of corresponding to the 6 unnamed instances of the activities in Saints Row 2. By the way, this is one of the other activities in the game that Volition made much easier than it was in Saints Row 2. If you remember the trafficking missions in Saints Row 2 and in Saints Row 1 got pretty grueling in levels 7 and 8 on Saints Row 1 and 5 and 6 in Saints Row 2. Those were the highest levels. But again, this is the easy instance, and this one never really gets too hard. And again, I'm getting out of the car just for the sake of it. It's easier to shoot the gang members, and again, it keeps the car health decent. Now I got three gang stars, so even though this is the easy instance, with 3 stars, I'm going to tend to be a little bit more careful. And, obviously with 3 stars, you also get the helicopter that comes out. But the car's in pristine condition, and I only got one more deal to do, so I'm not too worried about it. Now again, notice I'm trying to shoot the helicopter, but, good fucking luck with that, with the way Zemos drives. Unless, of course, you have the rocket launcher available, in which case, use it. The first level, they don't give you any rockets. Oh, that's another thing you gotta remember about this mission. Even if you've unlocked unlimited ammo on everything, all weapons you're holding, it makes no difference because the game gives you only certain weapons, the weapons that it wants you to have access to, and only the amount of ammo the game wants you to have. And for the easy instance, I guess the Volition doesn't feel you need rockets, and that's kind of a viable case they're making for that, because this is pretty easy. I'm to the 3rd deal now. Well, the car's getting a little banged up, so I'm gonna get out of the car, shoot up the Morningstar. Wait for Zemos to finish up with his customer. This helicopter's been like the one in my sights, and it's pretty much the last deal, so let me just take him out. Unfortunately, I don't have the exploding pistol. The game gives you the silencer pistol. I think it's the Shepherd. I always forget which pistols are which in this game, but it's the opposite one of the one I always use, even though it's double wielded. The exploding bullet pistol takes, especially when you've got it up to level 4 and dual wielded, it takes out a helicopter in like 4 or 5, 10, maybe 6 or 7 shots. But it obviously takes a lot longer with the pistol with the silencer. So, moving right along, we've done the 3rd deal, and we're pretty much, even with a semi-wrecked car as I have there, it's pretty much finished.
Looking forward to it. I always win my arguments.
I did manage to shoot the driver in that vehicle. Notice they stopped chasing me. It's always a good idea if you can. That is, if you can get, you know, if you can get a shot off with Zemo's driving as erratically as he does. All right, so that's done. That's level 1. Not level 1. I'm thinking Saints Row 1 and 2. That's the easy instance. So now we'll head over to the medium. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I should apologize or brim with pride, but apparently this video ended up being over 30 minutes. So, you know, whatever that means, it means. So hopefully, if it's too much, you could just skim through it, or, you know, go into parts you want to skip past or what have you.
That's what I wanted to hear. How bad will this hurt the Morning Star?
Come on, man, it's business 101, and people.
Now I'm just checking the map to see which stores that I own are near the drug delivery point, as I always do with these missions.
As the best you got?
Especially when the game starts you out at 4 gang stars. Even though it's only the medium instance, I'm going to get rid of my notoriety as much as I can. I've gotten through this without doing that, but for the sake of making the walkthrough video part of it easier, that's what I'm going to do. So, he was driving fast so that, you know, when you get out of the car, you dive out. That gets rid of my wanted, my notoriety. What's good about getting rid of your notoriety, by the way, is even when you get it back again, like the Brute is still shooting at this guy, so what I'm going to do here is, if the Brute doesn't stop shooting at Zemos, I'm going to go out there and just kill him again. But Zemos followed me in here, so now if I wait here long enough, with the good notoriety gone, the gang members will go away. Keep in mind that, unlike some of the activities, this isn't a timed activity. So you could stay in that store for a half hour if you wanted to. I mean, they didn't disappear, but I didn't bother waiting. Again, I was conscious of the fact that I was making a video, so I'm trying to rush through as much of this as possible, especially considering how long it already is. Alright, so we're at our first drop-off now, oddly enough, and I'm back to 4 stars. Now, I'm gonna leave Zemos because the store is so close, but I'm always ready to go back if I need to. So, for instance, if the dealer tries to run... See, now notice the dealer's trying to run away. So I'm not even going to run into the store. I'm going to... Even with 4 stars, it's better to get right back to him, or else that did I say the dealer get away? I meant to say the customer almost got away. You don't want the customer to go away. You gotta kill that non-paying customer. Remember what I said in the last video? If only waiters and waitresses could do that, and bartenders, for their non-tipping customers. It would certainly improve the plight of the food service industry. Yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we killed the non-paying customer, or the non-tipping patron, and now we're going to get rid of the wanted level. And again, that's 4 stars, so that's significant enough that I'm not going to try and fight my way through it if I don't have to. Not with a store a half a block away and the car in pristine condition. Alright, so we're all set. I'm running back to Zemos now. And by the way, the cops are shooting at Zemos, but notice I'm going to ignore the cops. Why? Because I have no police notoriety. Why, you know, why ask for trouble when I don't have to? Big deal. So I get, you know, if I kill a cop, I get a star automatically. This way, he's just angry at Zemos and not me, and that makes the deal and the mission go a lot smoother. So anyway, obviously this is medium, so now I have the rocket launcher available. Although, it's worth noting again that even though I have infinite ammo for all my weapons on this save, I only have
Be sure the right people are getting your ads.
4 rockets available to me, you know, that the game gave me to do the mission. So, I used one on the cop because they were following. So, because, you know, one of the things you have to do is destroy that vehicle. Now notice I only have one gang star and one cop star because I got rid of my ammo. Another advantage, I know I mentioned this the last walkthrough of Trafficking, is another advantage of getting rid of your notoriety while you're doing this is even though when I stop here I get my 4 stars immediately, it takes a little while for the gangs to regroup at 4-star force. In other words, if you continue the mission at 4 stars, right? What happens is that you got those huge trucks with the gangs following you and the brutes and the specialists all over the place. But since I just got 4 stars now, what it does is it takes a while for the gangs to regroup and come at me. So in this instance, I'm gonna run to the friendly fire and get rid of my wanted level. I kind of took a chance there because I had to kill the last non-paying buyer, and so I figured that I wouldn't get 2 in a row. Although that's not always a safe bet. Just if you're gonna do what I'm doing and go to a store to lose your notoriety level, just make damn sure you're watching your radar and the on-screen messages, and that if you get the message saying the buyer is not paying, which you'll get relatively quickly, usually within 20 seconds of dropping the dealer off, then you can run back and kill the buyer and then lose your notoriety level. I did it this way to try and save time. I try to take the gamble and see what'll happen. In this case, it paid off. Alright, so now I have no notoriety, and it's also worth noting, you'll notice that I got 1 star for nothing. When you do this mission, same thing happened in Saints Row 2. What'll happen is the game will slowly build you back up to 4 stars. But it usually takes a lot longer to get you to that 4 stars than, for instance, if you started at, like if you started at the 4 stars, it'll take you longer than it will take Zemos to drive to the next stop. So if it gets to 2 stars, I'll leave it. If it gets to 3 stars, I'll jump out and get rid of the notoriety level. But it'll see, boom, it just added a 2nd star even though I didn't do anything. And that's what's going to happen. It'll slowly build up to the 4 stars. Whether or not we get to the to the drug sale point before I get the 3rd star
The Saints rule
is
everywhere.
up for grabs. And there I shot. Notice I was able to get a shot off, and I killed the driver, so that stopped the car from coming after me. Now with 2 stars, I'm not going to bother getting out here and getting rid of my notoriety. Especially, by the way, the sell point is right here. So now this is easy peasy because guess what? Even if the buyer runs out, I'm so close it doesn't matter. So I'm going to lose my notoriety and then go back to Zemos. Even with a non-paying buyer, it wouldn't make a difference because I'm so close. I still have time to lose my notoriety and get back to Zemos. In this instance, it wasn't a big deal because he didn't. It was a moot point rather because the buyer paid him. So now I have no stars with all the gang, and just 1 more location to sell at. So we'll check the pause map and notice that there's a friendly fire pretty close, relatively close to the next drop-off. I don't think I would need it though. Again, remember what I said before about the gangs taking a while to ramp up to the 4 stars worth of aggressiveness, even though I'll have the 4 stars as soon as Zemos pulls up to the location. And it's the last drop-off. The car is in pretty much pristine condition, so I'm not really too worried. Sometimes what I'll do in a case like this is I'll just gut it out and I'll take whatever punishment the idiot gangs want to dole out at that point. Because especially, like I said, the car is in such good shape that even if the gangs, shoot all over it between now, the final deal, and then the drop-off point, again, this is only the medium instance, not even the hard. It's a judgment call. If you want to lose your wanted level, by all means go. Friendly fire is certainly close enough so it's not wasting too much time.
You dented my car!
I'll get out of the car. I'll just deal with all these gangs. I'll try to keep the car in as good shape as I possibly can. But again, even with 4 stars, I'm not stressing it too much because the drop-off point is only 1,000 feet, which is like 20% of a mile, 0.2 miles. You know, how much, even if they were shooting rocket launches at me, how much damage is my car
You're a
going to
heck
take?
of a businessman.
You know, the answer is not very much. You know, I'm only 700 feet away now. So now I'll get out the rocket launcher and just have a little fun. I always save the rocket. I try to save the rocket launcher on these missions till the end, just in case I need them. At all. Yeah, it's just a few more feet. Notice the car's in just in great condition, so there was really no point in on this level. Again, it's a judgment call. You know, you might want to leave it and damage that you have to, blah blah blah. And that's it. That's the medium instance. And again, this is hardcore. All these videos are done hardcore difficulty. When I refer to easy, medium, and hard, I'm referring to the instances of the mission, not the difficulty level that the game set. So let's start the next one.
We get this last print and the flyers out. We'll be all set.
And let's tell Steelport how great your girls are.
And ain't nothing better than my babies.
You're one of a kind, Z.
Don't think I don't know it. There a chance we ain't gonna...
Alright, just checking out the closest shop to the drop-off point, but to the
Morningstar won't lay back and let you steal their customers.
Now that looks close, by the way. That particular the friendly fire there. Look how crappy Zimos drives. I love how he makes you a slow-moving target. But anyway, it looks real close because it looks like you can cut through that alley. But I know this map pretty well, and I already know going into this. And look how he's crashing into everything, by the way, and ruining the car on you. That looks very close, but look how you have to go all the way around to get to it because it's like there's a mountain separating you from that block where the store is on. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna just hang out here, get some cover, and pick the gangs off while Zimos does his thing.
I'm up for more.
There's also a brute here, but watch the grenade. 2 cars at once. I love it. I love it. And again, the non-paying customer, or if you like my waiter metaphor from the last video, the non-tipping customer. Now, unfortunately, Zimos takes his sweet time getting in here, so the car gets even more trashed with the brute shooting flamethrowers at us. So, you know, God forbid he should actually hurry his stupid ass. What are you gonna do? So now this car is almost totally trashed, so not only am I going to be ditching the notoriety at some point, but you know I'm going to be using another car. I could ditch the notoriety at that friendly fire, but I'm not going to because if you looked at the map when I paused the screen here, you'll see that there's a plastic surgeon or on the way to the next deal. Yeah, this car is getting pretty rotty. And so I dived out of the car. Now I'm going to do something interesting here. I'm going to jump into this car first. This is the best looking car. Now the reason I did that is so that the game knows it's my car. And so when I go into the surgeon now, not only will I lose my wanted level, not only will I lose my notoriety, but when I get into that gang car, I won't get a star for it because I've already stolen it before I lost my notoriety. So the game sees this is my car. Unfortunately, watch what happens. This is weird. It's a weird glitch. Instead of Zimos getting in, the idiot gang member gets in, and then Zimos pulls him out, and then he pulls Zimos out, and I had to get out and then get back in. It's a really strange glitch. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but eventually I get the car and Zimos gets in. But for all the work I did jumping into the car, guess what? I get a star anyway, so screw it. I was going to lose the notoriety, but for 1 star, the gangs are all gone. Who cares? Now, on our way to the second of 5 drug deals. And it's right there. And there are a couple of stores within running distance of that deal. And the good news about this is we're in an alley that's very defensible. Looks like I'm going to be going to the planet Saints. Alright, so because you got 2 walls here and houses, so I can defend myself pretty easily against the gangs. Now notice again, even at 5 stars, look how long it's taking to get the gangs ramped up to full, force. In fact, I'm surprised that nobody's come at me. I guess there's nobody in the area, the game's not spawning them. Alright, but anyway, he did the deal, and now the gangs are starting to come, including the helicopter, so I'm going to go lose the notoriety rather than trying to fight off 5 stars. With the way Zemos drives, there's really almost no way to do it, especially with the way, in terms of the fact that he's going to keep crashing the car up, he drives really slow to the deals, and he drives so erratically, just as Pierce did in the last trafficking mission, that it's very difficult to shoot the drivers in the head while they're driving the cars. So, I lose my notoriety, and I'm going to head back to Zemos now. And as you can see, it's not too arduous a process to run and lose your notoriety. Sometimes it could be a little boring, and there were times I'll play this mission where I'll just completely, just for the challenge of it, just completely gut it out and deal with the notoriety and not lose it. Watch this. I try to squeeze through here, but apparently for some reason, even though there's plenty of room, the game treats that as a wall. So I'll get through it this way.
This ain't doing well.
Not funny. And I got 1 cop star for some strange, bizarre reason. And now 1 gang star has come back, which of course you would expect. But again, no biggie.
I gotta ask,
If you gotta, you gotta.
what's your real name?
Shit, what's yours?
Martha fucking Washington?
I love that. Martha fucking Washington. That's one of the things I love about this game, is because you get to make your own character. The character, in essence, has no name. You know, in GTA you had Claude Speed, Tommy Vercetti, and Nico Bellos, whatever his last name was. And then for the Stories game you had Tony Cipriani was the main character, and Victor Vance. But in this game, in Saints Row, you have no name, because really you're the character. That's what this game is trying to tell you. You're the main character. The game is, and you make the character anything you want. And that is a completely and totally different approach than any of the other sandbox games, including GTA. It's one of the things that I think sets Saints Row apart from all the other Saints Row and other sandbox games, is that Rockstar, and Rockstar's phenomenal. I mean, I hated GTA 4 and Liberty Cities and the Liberty City stories, but to be honest with you, San Andreas, GTA 3, Vice City, and the PSP Stories game, Liberty and Vice City Stories, were phenomenal. But again, they gave you your main character, and they kind of forced you into a certain role in particular missions and stuff. One of the things that Volition did with Saints Row 3 that sets it apart from even GTA games, which no sandbox game has ever been able to do. By that I mean set itself apart from GTA. But one of the things that Volition was able to do to set themselves apart from GTA is to give you the ultimate freedom to decide what you want your main character to be like, and so again, it's silly, but not having a name is actually a profound part of that. So anyway, I'm going to jump out here because the car's getting trashed. I'll let the brute chase me a little bit, not really bothering me too much, and I'll lose the notoriety and the friendly fire coming up over here. See, in that instance, not only did I have 5 gang stars, but they got amped up pretty quick, so and I decided I was close enough to a store angle to just lose it and get back to the most. Now here's something really interesting. I'm far away from Zemos. I'm going to jump into this car. This is a really strong car, and I have a reason for getting this car. And then I'm going to go back to Zemos and sort of coax him back to this car, which is kind of not that easy to do, because he's going to jump into a truck down the block. Right here. And once I come to him, now he'll get out, and now I kind of turned around and I'm leading him towards the car I want to use. And the reason is because the next stop is on the restricted area. So not only am I going to have 5 gang stars in a minute or two, but I'm going to have the military with all their rifles and crap shooting at me. So now normally if you go to the right here, right after this entranceway, if you look to the right, you can actually go down that little hill down there and get onto the island relatively quickly. But the AI in this game, Zemos included, doesn't use those shortcuts. He's actually going to take this long way around. Again, if that were me, I would have just driven down that little bank pretty easy. But whatever, Zemos goes all the way around. I got 1 star now. And we're going to head to the restricted area. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, I guess maybe this is Volition's way of not making this too difficult. But for some reason, instead of getting 3 stars of police notoriety, you're only getting 1, which is strange. Now, that may be due to the fact that I lost my notoriety, or it may be Volition's way of making this a little easier. Although it's not too easy, because even with only one you know, law enforcement spot, there's still, you know, the army or it's not stag yet, but the army is still coming at me with rifles and all that other stuff. So I got 5 stars here. Now here, I don't care how intense the gangs get. It's not worth trying to lose your notoriety yet. The reason being is because you got to go pretty far to a store, and then you got to come back to the restricted area anyway. It's just a big waste of time. That's why I chose this Hummer-looking vehicle, because I knew it would be tough. You know, this vehicle will withstand a lot of punishment, which it is. Even though it's got a flat tire, who cares? It's still gonna be fine. So we're heading to the next drop-off. And notice that the good news is that there is a rim jobs literally right on top of the final drug deal. That was a grenade I tossed. Sort of fell long of the target. That's one thing I don't like about the vehicle grenades in this, is that they're almost useless unless the vehicles. And here I'm going to get out because it's just crazy. I'll get back to the grenades in a second. Now it's getting a little stupid. This game. So not here.
Grab cover first.
Now I'm going to grab this truck here. Not in great shape, but it's in okay shape, even with the group shooting us with this little minigun there. But it'll at least get us to the next drop-off point with no problem. Obviously, getting the vehicle after this, but anyway, what I was saying about the grenades is one of the things I don't like about the using grenades in vehicles is because the grenades have such a long time before they explode that they're almost completely useless. You know, one of the things I liked about Just Cause 2 was you couldn't throw the grenades out of the vehicle though, unfortunately, but you could cook the grenades. See, if I were in charge of any part of the gameplay in this game, I would have recommended to the lead programmer that you be able to cook the grenades in this. Which means, by cook your grenades, if you're not familiar with that, it means you could hold your grenade. You know, right up until the point where it explodes in your hand. But you can hold the grenade. Let's say it takes 4 seconds for the grenade to go off. You can hold it for 3 and throw it, boom, right away. You got, you know, it'll go off in a second. So you could have much more control over the grenade. Now, I'm gonna lose my notoriety here. I don't care if the customer stiffs Zemos, because it makes absolutely no difference. Because I can get Zemos and just kill that customer. Say even I was literally yards away from that non-paying or non-tipping customer. And let's get another car. Now, unfortunately, I can't get my vehicles out of rim job, which just kind of sucks, but we'll get this. This is a nice, tough vehicle, especially with no stars, who cares? But anyway, it would be really nice. It would be really nice if you could cook your grenades in this game.
You okay?
I love the torch. This is one of my favorite vehicles in the game, by the way. I'm trying to get Xenos to come out here and drive homeward, but he seems to be caught. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before about cooking the grenades, if you could hold the grenade in your hand while you activate it, and then release it at any point before it goes off, it would be more useful in the vehicles. Really, the only useful
Eyes on the road.
vehicle throwing weapon would be the Molotov cocktail, because it goes off on impact. But that's just my little cooking grenades rant.
Need me to take over?
And I got 5 stars back because I rocket launched a walking gang member, but I don't care because it's only 2,000 feet, which is like a third of a mile. And I've still got 10 rockets left.
I love
So,
action.
you know, I'm really not too worried about failing this mission, or even the car getting wrecked. By the time the gang ramps up to full strength with all these rockets, they're really not going to be able to stop me. So now you just have fun at the end of the mission. Boom, kill the brute. And by the way, if you guys don't know it, if a brute, it's not that it matters for this mission, but if a brute is still in the car, one rocket will kill everybody in the car, including the brute. But if you shoot the rocket after the brute gets out, on hardcore that is, then you obviously you have to take a few rockets to kill it. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video walkthrough, and don't forget I'm going to be posting some videos of my band in the next few days on Broken Chain, and I'll be posting some more Saints Row the Third videos. Alright, thanks for watching, and have a great day.